Your next car might be fully assembled by a robot. And I don't know how I feel about that. Welcome to Curbrash. We were looking at a story today. We're just gonna get right into it. I know we do a lot of introductions normally, but kind of alarming. First dark factory where robots build an entire car is set to open in China or the U.S. by 2030. Nick, I personally don't really like that very much. How do you feel about it?
Um, I'm not the biggest fan of it, and like I genuinely wonder how dark it is. Like, are there people there to like maintain the machines? Like, I'm sure they're gonna need some level of maintenance, or if there's like, are there gonna be IT people on staff? Like, how dark? Because like dark to me is like there is nobody there. It
Yeah.
just runs by itself, and nobody's there, or it's like one or two people. That's how I see it in my mind anyways. So like I'm curious as to how dark it really is, and I I don't know. Does it say what manufacturer it's going to be, or just
It does not. It says
cuz
automakers.
obviously it's EV, cuz like you were saying, like I think this really only works with EVs because there's just a lot less going on mechanically,
Yes.
which I think is probably why we haven't seen these for actual like internal combustion vehicles. Um yeah, like I don't know. Like like I'm curious as to how staffed the factory actually is for way of maintaining the machines or like issues that come up, because it
Yeah.
does happen in manufacturing. Like the line gets stopped sometimes.
Yeah, and it happens more
Like,
often than I think
like
people realize.
you've probably seen like videos and stuff of like automated lines where like something's out of alignment or something and gets jammed, and the line
Yeah.
just keeps fucking moving and breaking everything else.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so let me
So like
just I'm just going to take a look cuz see if we can find the rest of the article. It's kind of blocked behind a thing, but I'm just my thought process is like, yeah, first of all, automation, like there's dumb automation, which is like a candy factory where a thing is just stamping out, like O Henry bars or Snickers. That's dumb
yeah, and like
automation.
sometimes you get like a bento Henry bar, and that's
Yeah,
fine. But it's like this has the potential to be amazingly expensively wrong.
it does. And I think that that's
Caught immediately.
it's all hinging entirely on like the idea that like, so from what the article says, that they can have like smart like humanoid robots to take on tasks that like for stuff like that. For me personally, I just don't believe for a goddamn second that that is ever even remotely going to happen. I think I've seen
Yeah,
so many optimistic things in the news
I don't,
that
I don't see how it could be like a fully quote unquote dark factory. I feel like there's going to have to be a somewhat decent staff level there just for like maintenance and stuff, just to keep an eye on things
yeah,
and actually make sure the line stops if there's a problem. Um,
I
but I
don't think
mean,
people.
I guess the Dark Factory gets rid of the whole like, hope you didn't buy a car that was built on a Friday.
Yeah, it does, but I mean, me personally, my whole thought is like, yeah, but like it's like we talked about. This probably only really works for like a an EV situation. Like this is not something I think that's going to function on for like an ICE vehicle of any kind.
No, I feel like this
So
only works for EVs, and it's only going to work for like a specific type of, I don't know, cookie cutter EV where everything is just the same. You're
yeah,
probably not going to have any trim options or anything like that. It's just going to be, this is the car.
I guess people also don't realize that like a lot of the assemblies that go into vehicles, like we've already whittled down the amount of human involvement in auto manufacturing substantially over the last 30
Yeah, like
years.
if anybody's ever been to an auto manufacturing plant,
Mm-hmm.
they're like, it's extremely efficient.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. Like the door, like
Like,
everything that goes into a door, ready to go. Like everything is.
yeah, like I've been to like the Toyota plant, for example, in Woodstock and Cambridge, and like it's insanely efficient. Like
Yeah,
the employees have like dedicated platforms that are made for the sole purpose of making their job as efficient and as ergonomic as possible so that they can work as long as possible without getting
Yeah.
back pain.
Well,
So exploit them to the max basically, but like it's crazy.
wasn't Ford had like some kind of exoskeleton suit that they'd like developed? It's like a wearable suit that like it extreme was helping to reduce extreme fatigue because the cars are rolling over and they'd be over their heads and they're lifting and like putting things on and then like screwing it in. I found a picture of it here. Apparently they actually did roll this out, but if it would let me
Oh yeah, I
find
see what
it,
you're talking about.
yeah. So
The
they
exos.
So this is a thing. This is Exovest is a separate company, I guess, that Ford invested into or something. I don't know what the
Yeah, no,
direct way
I
this
I
is,
see.
but
But like yeah, like it's stuff like this, like manufacturing and assembly lines
yeah,
as we have them today are like they're extremely efficient.
yeah, totally, totally, very efficient. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, like let's play devil's advocate a little bit, right? We give Hyundai a lot of flack, right? But
Yeah.
I would sleep a lot if I was forced to buy a Hyundai. I would sleep a lot better at night if my Hyundai was built in Korea than if it was built in their like whatever shithole town in the States factory they have where they found like 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds working on the line, like actual
Oh, it
child
was in
labor on
like
the line,
Alabama or something.
some shit like that. Like I think like so like to be honest, it's like it's not really that surprising because like all of the engines that are all their Theta engines that blew up, all of them were not deburred and all of them were from the
I'm
States
I'll be 100% honest in that I would rather the car I'm buying be built anywhere other than the United States
or Canada.
or Canada.
As much as I
Although
love,
like I mean like the RAV4 and stuff are built here.
yeah,
So like we can build reliable cars here, but like I don't really want anything built in the States or
or Mexico.
I wouldn't buy a Volkswagen built in Mexico. At least
No,
probably not.
I'm glad they moved the GTI to Wolfsburg, but like the Mark 7.5s and 7s and stuff were all built in Mexico. The GTIs, the R's were built in Wolfsburg. Like I trust the Japanese and the Germans and the Austrians more than I do the Americans or the Mexicans for building things. And that's
Yeah,
not it's like, and
yeah.
it's a systemic thing. Like this is like it's almost like a cultural thing because
It's a cultural thing.
yeah,
It is literally a cultural thing.
there's very little pride in the work on the assembly line. But if you go to like a European country like Germany or Austria or Japan, very prideful of their work. It's important to them to do a good job. And I think in the West we have a culture of not laziness per se, but just get it done.
Yeah.
Just do what you got to do and
I
go home.
I very vividly remember a video. It was like an old one of those like when like the news does an investigation on something.
Yeah.
They were doing one of those things, and this is from back in I don't know, probably the fucking late 80s or early 90s, but like I think it was like the GM plants in Detroit and just sort of following the workers around on their lunch breaks and the amount of them that were just like downing 40s in their car
No
or like
way.
multiple beers.
I mean, a
Oh
little
yeah.
bit of hell, yeah, but goddamn, you know what I mean? Like, jeez.
But
I
it's like that. Like you're not going to go to like Germany or Japan and see that.
no,
It just doesn't exist there.
no,
But
because
in the
there's
like in North America, it does.
and this is not that those cultures don't have problems in general. This is just to say, in this specific facet, I would much rather they do the work. Like, then the Japanese will go drink themselves to death, and the Germans will, I don't know, be miserable
Yeah,
or
like if
whatever.
the
But
Japanese want to do it after hours when they go to like the bar with their boss or whatever and they drink themselves silly and fall asleep on the stairs to the train, that's fine.
yeah, that's
Go ahead.
fine.
They're
But
just not doing it at work while the car is being built.
that's the fucked up thing too. Like, I think this is an interesting direction to take it. But like, when you look at the fall of the American automobile in general, right? Like, it's like Detroit used to be the richest city in America, and then all of the auto manufacturers slowly either outsourced, moved, left the city, and it was left in shambles, right? And then in the
Yeah.
in the 80s, it was as it's literally called the malaise era of the American automobile, like, everything sucked. Everything was terrible. Like,
Oh, like everything in the 80s was anything coming out of the States in the 80s was garbage.
even into the 90s,
Like, can you
90%
imagine
garbage.
being the engineer patting yourself on the back because you got 190 horsepower out of a 7.4 liter V8?
No, I couldn't imagine what that would be like, but after 7 martinis for lunch? Yeah. I just don't understand it, right? Like big like the American land yacht as they call it, the big lazy V8s. I've never understood it, right? Because I think people are very fond of it and they find that there's something to it. I've never found anything to it. My grandfather drove a Chevrolet Celebrity from the 80s. I have fond memories of that vehicle, but I also acknowledge that it
Yeah.
was a shit vehicle. It's just memories with my grandfather. You know what I mean? Like, it's a crap car. Everything was maroon.
Yeah.
Every little thing was maroon inside that thing. So, like,
Or
respectfully.
like that dark green cloth.
Oh, yeah, it looks like a fucking armchair from the 60s. Yeah. No, it's just like
Yeah.
everything was maroon and it ruched, and it was like, yeah.
It's fun to look back on it now with rose tinted glasses because it's like, wow, those cars were really that shitty. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it was fun because they were that shitty. But it's like they were horrible. They were entirely non-competitive.
No, then, and that's, they, if you ever doubt that the American automobile, it literally was held up by the fact that they lobbied the government to stop foreign automobiles from like hitting like the shores. That's the only reason that American
Yes.
automobiles didn't collapse altogether. Like
Yeah.
it's so anyway, to go back to the main point here. So like the factory element of the American automobile has been in constant decline for the last like 30 years. And that I'm not speaking on Canadian stuff, but like most of the stuff that I see coming out of the States is like headline after headline of miserable shit. Now, most recently with Hyundai having, factories in the States and all the shit that they're going through with their engines and then their build quality and then the children on the line. I get it. I fully fucking understand why companies would want to transition away from people doing this. But again, it only really works for EVs in my mind.
Yeah, well, I mean, it also just comes back to like, if you pay people properly, they will take pride in their work.
Yeah,
If you pay them like garbage and they can't afford to survive, that's the quality of work you're going to get from your employees.
100%.
And
I mean, like,
I feel like that's the difference between North American culture and like I don't know, European or Japanese culture, in that, it's they're making enough money in these positions there to where they can live a life.
probably the Europeans,
and
but
and they have things like actual vacation and sick leave and bereavement leave,
yeah,
and not like, oh, you needed 2 sick days, well, you're not getting any more shifts. That
yeah.
doesn't happen outside of North America.
There are problems in every culture. I will say, like, the Japanese, they just work themselves to death regardless of whether they're getting paid well. But yeah, like, if you look at the way even, like, not that Italy is a great example or France or whatever, but, like, the amount of, like, vacation time they get. Even Balboni was, like, forced to retire, at a certain, they're like, you can't keep working. You just can't do it,
Yep.
and some people, they want to keep working, fuck, if I was the Lamborghini test driver, I'd never quit, but,
Yeah.
if I woke up every
I
day
like
and
that the
was like,
current Lamborghini test driver's name is Max Venturi.
that's a sick
I
name.
think that's like, there could not be a better name for a test driver.
Yeah, that is an action star name. That's like Max Venturi, Indiana Jones. Same ring, same
Yeah,
like,
it's like one of the best names I've ever
yeah,
heard. It's Max Venturi.
it's a great fucking name. Um, I don't know. That's just I like, I'm interested to see what they do, but I don't like people being like sort of removed and losing jobs. Like, I don't like people think that the
I
goal
don't
of
like that either.
automation, like, it's just to make the company more money even if it's 1% more money, they're happy to do it.
Well, yeah, because it's basically they don't have to pay the salaries, they don't have to pay bonuses, nothing. They just
They
need to
need
pay the
very little
maintenance costs for
HR.
machines and upkeep costs.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't agree with any of this, and I think
But
that
it also lets them do like full true 24/7 manufacturing as well.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, it all comes down to it's a money thing.
It's a money thing, and I think you're toying with people's lives. There are people who make careers out of like being in the manufacturing sector, right? Who move up from like working on the line to being a manager, and they end up being very good managers because they know what it's like. I mean, like McDonald's, which is a, you know, and it's not an automaker, but like they are very notorious for like they want people who have worked at the lower level so they understand that level of the company, like, and how to
Yeah,
treat
I mean,
people.
well, like, yeah, McDonald's, In and Out in the States is very much like that. They promote
Yeah.
internally. Costco is like that.
Yep. I mean,
And, I don't know about McDonald's at the lower levels, maybe not, but like Costco and In and Out, by everything I've heard, great places to work.
yeah, I've also heard that. We'll go with Costco and In-N-Out. But wanting to promote from within, and a lot of people make their lives around manufacturing, right? And
Yeah.
I don't like a segment being basically like they're basically threatening to just remove it entirely, effectively, right? Like I don't like that. It bugs me. But I don't know. I guess
Yeah,
we'll
no,
see.
I'm not a huge fan of.
It's at least a
I don't know.
decent segue.
Personally, like my take on it is I'm interested to see how it's actually going to work,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think it's going to succeed.
No, I don't think it's going to succeed either. And it's probably a good segue into
And
the
in a
things
way,
that
I
are
don't really
happening.
want it to.
No, I don't either. Um, Lucid is reshuffling its leadership and touting software fixes after viral quality critiques. Um, Apparently they sold 9,000 Air sedans in 2024, and which is a 34% increase year over year. That's an impressive number for a small auto
That is an impressive
manufacturer.
number for a small EV maker.
I will also say,
Software is the main complaint I have heard about them. Everybody says that it is trash.
yeah. So the other problem with Lucid, and this is possibly just an EV problem in general, the depreciation is next level. So brand new, it's like 120 Canadian. I've seen them used for like 50. It's Maserati levels of depreciation. I just couldn't imagine
I feel like
justifying.
that's worse.
Yeah, it's damn close, if not worse. Like it, I just couldn't imagine justifying a purchase like that. I mean, like Teslas are pretty bad too, but the sticker point on the Lucid is so much higher. I think they look ridiculous, personally. I think they look like they're wearing a helmet, because they have this like really hard line on the back of their whatever. But that's subjective. But like,
I'm not a huge
I
fan of how they're entertaining and apparently fast, but I don't really care for how they look. And apparently, the software is shit. Engineer Eden explained, basically, made a video about it. He's like, the car itself is fine. Everything in it sucks,
yeah.
like
I mean,
software
I
wise.
fully believe that. I'm also just not. I mean, at least with the screens inside, they've actually attempted to make it like shaped a little bit, but it's still like a big fuck off screen, like we were talking about the other
Yeah,
week. Yeah, not my favorite. I mean,
yeah, and it's also like there's not a ton of support network for it, like dealer network,
no.
right, to get stuff done.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fucking
So like,
shit value proposition at that point.
yeah,
It's like
it's
extremely
horrid at that point.
inconvenient. Yeah, like, would you like a car that has many issues, is very expensive, and when you're inevitably done with it and upset with it, it's going to be worth half of what you paid for it 1.5 years ago? No.
Fucking less than half.
Less than half. Like, no, I don't think anybody with a sound. Obviously, people who don't give a fuck and just throw money around. But I'm talking about people who are like, yeah, I have the money to do it, but is this a good idea? No.
Yeah, like there's always going to be the people's like, oh, I'm the first one to have a Lucid Air, like that's some sort
Yeah.
of flex, but
But we're talking about
yeah, like if you're actually looking for something to keep as a car, horrible value
terrible.
proposition long term.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's disgusting. I don't like them. I have so many. I
You know what I
also.
actually saw? You know
Mhm.
what I saw? I think like 2 weeks ago that I was really surprised by. I saw a Fisker Ocean driving
Really,
around.
I've seen a couple.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's really surprising to me because Fisker does not exist as a brand anymore, and as far as I'm aware, there's nowhere to take those cars for maintenance.
Nope. So, Rich Rebuilds tried to get one functioning. I watched that video. It was a nightmare. Uh, every time he would start the car, a video of Henrik Fisker would play, being like, "Oh, thanks for buying my car," and it would be like, "Fuck you! Like you, you went bankrupt again. This is the second time." But Yeah, I think they look good. I think that if you bought them at like, there are dealers who were trying to offload them for like $30,000-$40,000 when they were originally almost 100K. Like
If I could get one for like 9, maybe brand new for
9,000,
9, yeah,
and then you just have to
that's a
figure it
solid
out.
maybe in my book.
There are also like Fisker techs that are like sort of like have taken their tools and are like freelancing, and like I guess people are like calling on them to do remote work, like software wise and stuff. Since at the end of the day, it's just a big fuck off battery on motors. But
Yeah, I mean, I guess EVs could support that. Like a lot of it is just the software side of things. So
yeah,
if ever there was a way of working on cars remotely, we're in that era.
yeah. I mean, people do fucking like laptop tunes remotely now. Like that's a thing they've been doing for a while. So it's something.
Oh yeah, I love the e-tune.
The e-tune. But it's a
Classic German mods.
yeah. Just a man in an office across the world, and he's going, "Yeah, we will tune," and it's just perfect.
A downpipe and an email tune.
Yeah,
A tube and a tune.
a tube and a tune. Um, I will say though, like this is the thing, right? Is we've been talking about a lot of this is going to be obviously EV related because we're at a weird time right now where I think fucked up to say, but we've kind of, from our perspective, the war has kind of been won with EVs because I don't think there's no room for mass adoption anymore. Dealers are rejecting EVs; they won't even take them onto their lots. I think we're going to see the slow dwindling, but there's a concern because we were going to talk about this with China and their EVs, and I personally don't want them on
Yeah.
Western shores. I don't want them here. I don't trust them.
You know, see, I'm of a few minds about that. Like, I don't trust them either, but at the same time, I feel like like I think Geely owns Volvo. Like Chinese and Indian companies own a lot of major automotive manufacturers. So in a lot of cars, you're just getting Chinese software anyways. It just has a friendly badge stamped on the front. But I'm sure all of them and Tesla as well are just stealing your data and selling it to people. So
I mean,
like it basically I feel like we're at the point where like we've crossed that bridge and there's no going back. The time to stop that was years ago and people are stuck with it now.
I understand the perspective. My issue is more so that I don't believe that the vehicles are made to the standard that they're advertised. I think that 90% of these companies, like, yes, Volvo is a friendly face, but the engineers at Volvo and the company of Volvo, um, like it's been around the block. Their engineers are not all now Chinese all of a sudden. I don't worry about the ownership. I'm not even worried about the data is a separate point. We could argue that till we're blue in the face. My concern is the way the vehicles are made, the way they're advertised. I also am concerned with a company like a fully Chinese company bringing Chinese EVs to our shores, like not cannibalizing, but like eating the entire market till all the other companies are out of business, and then raising
I mean,
prices.
I feel like that's part of it as well. I feel like if and when Chinese EVs hit North American shores, it's like it's the first malaise era for EVs because people will realize how, quite frankly, bad the offerings are currently from a tech perspective, which is what a lot of EV buyers care about is price and technology. And China is ahead on all of that.
Yeah,
And
I
like
mean,
I'm not saying open the floodgates for China's EVs, but like personally, I'd be okay with BYD.
so I'm of the other perspective. Um, I don't think they're that fucking good, and I think that they're very good at half baking things. I think that I've owned a lot of miscellaneous Chinese products in my life. I'm
You
Captain.
do love a Chinese phone.
I love a Chinese phone. They are the titans of industry for half baked. And I think that that's the problem is when a reviewer sees a feature and they're in a car for an hour and then they're making a decision about that vehicle, they're not living with it long term. And even if they are, I just think that most of the things that are advertised that they're just better or whatever it is, I have a hard time believing that they're actually going to be that good. And I agree with you on some front that they're not doing a lot locally, but
Yep.
I don't think this is the way forward.
I do have one devil's advocate point to make.
Mm-hmm.
The CEO of Ford,
Yes.
I forget his name. I think it's Jim something.
It's Jim Farley.
Jim Farley, related to Chris Farley, by the way.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, brothers. He drives a BYD every day and has explicitly stated that it is the best EV he's ever driven, and he will drive a Ford EV once they have caught up. Almost verbatim, those words.
Really?
Yes. The CEO of Ford, who make the Mach-E, which isn't horrible. I don't like it, but it's not horrible.
Oh, sorry. He said that he has been driving a Xiaomi SU7 for 6 months and said he doesn't want to give it up.
Xiaomi. My mistake.
Yeah, I trust Xiaomi even less than I trust BYD. They're the ones that made that car with the fucked up brakes and then the seat that exploded.
The reviewer crashed.
Yeah, the reviewer crashed.
But that is my he had it for I don't know if he still has a Chinese EV, but he had it long term and apparently drove it a fair bit and did quite enjoy it over his own company's offerings, which he can get for free.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll be real with you, CEOs, to me, being a figurehead, it's very important to posture, and the fact that this guy was not even attempting to posture, I can see why I'm seeing a lot of backlash for him being like, this is great. He said that they were 25 years behind Chinese automaker BYD. That can't be possible. Like, what? I'm sorry, but how long has BYD even been around? Since 1995. I've seen Chinese cars from the early 2000s. Oh, it's a battery manufacturing company. Hold the fuck up. When did they start making cars?
I think when he says 25 years, I think he means from a technology perspective. Like, it would take Ford 25 years to catch up to where BYD is today.
Kind of makes me not want him to have as the figurehead.
But like that's the thing. Is like normally the CEO, like, you know, by the time you've reached there, like, you've drunk the Kool-Aid. Your shit is the best shit, and everybody else sucks.
Yeah.
So for the CEO of the company to come out and say that says something to me.
I mean, I understand that. It does say something. I think it also. I just don't believe that.
Right? It's like the complete opposite end of the spectrum to like Elon Musk, who huffs his own farts and thinks that he can do no wrong, and that Teslas are God's gift to Earth when they're not.
Yeah, I mean, of course, but I think the problem for me is just that, like, it's not a try. Like, okay, with Tesla, for example, though we don't like them, right? And obviously, it's not Elon Musk's. Really, it's not Elon Musk's baby. It was two other dudes that he purchased the company from. But they started with a modified Lotus Elise, right? There's like a proving ground of proving your shit works. You know what I mean? It's a slow scale up. I just don't believe in mass adoption and a trust me bro attitude. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think that, like, I want to see what happens in Europe with BYDs, like outside the Chinese market, because it's hard to trust information coming out of China. It's very hard to trust that. Yeah. I just think we've seen what automakers, like, their failures and like their rise and fall and, like, you know, of opinion. For example, when Nissan in the 90s, Nissan was like a household name that everybody trusted, and we watched them destroy their reputation, but they built it up first. I just want to see what happens in Europe, right, for a few more years before we start saying, oh, this is a good idea. Because there's an auto reviewer who shook a steering wheel off of the, I forget which one it was, one of the Chinese EVs, just shook the steering wheel and it fell clean out. Like, I just don't trust them.
No, that's fair. I I don't entirely shut out the idea. I I'm not vehemently against Chinese EVs,
I just can't even beyond
especially
that.
if that's the way the world is moving eventually. Every EV that you can buy in North America starts at 55,000.
No, I know.
How are people meant to get around? So there's gonna have to be the Hyundai moment where somebody from a different country just comes in and undercuts the fuck out of the market.
No, no, I know.
That's probably gonna be China this time around.
My only issue is that I just don't. I just don't trust I don't think that there's a trust. There's a backbone, that there's a trust of manufacturing, that there's a solid history. That's it. Hyundai at least is like, also like ICE cars are harder than electrics. Like that's why all these companies have popped up, is because it's much easier to make an electric
It's
vehicle,
easier. I agree.
and it takes less understanding. But I think that EVs that are built with the or the like understanding of ICE vehicles are arguably better vehicles, because they understand why. Like I don't know, man. It's hard to put to words. I feel like I'm rambling. It's just like a safety thing. It's like, I drove a Mach E and I fucking hated it personally, because the weight is
Yeah.
completely different than a conventional I drove an XC90 after it, right? Immediately after it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this
Mhm.
feels right." Right? Cuz all the weight is in the floor. Like there was no
Yeah,
weight
it's
on the front.
down
Like
low in the middle. So
yeah.
it feels heavy beside you. Like it
Yes.
the- like it oh, how do I explain this? Okay, when you're driving a normal car and you're doing so in a slightly spirited manner, or even normally, when you turn the wheel, you feel where the engine is respond and want to move. Like you
Yeah.
feel that the weight is moving in front of you. When you're driving an EV, it feels like it's moving beneath you and to the right of you, and it's strange if you've never felt it before.
Yeah, it's very strange. I mean, I've driven electric cars, but not spiritedly. And I think that it was that moment where it was like my first like spiritedly driving an EV, and I was like, I don't
Yeah,
like
it almost feels a little roller coasty.
yeah, a little bit. I just, like, to me that was the kind of like moment where I was like, oh, I really don't like this. But beyond it, I'm like, there's a feeling with the Mach E that it was very at least solid, but it was just different. I don't. I think that's of understanding of Ford on how to build cars, a very reasonable out of how to build cars, because the actual Mustang, has gotten quite good, right, over the last little while. It's kind of evolved to be not just a muscle car like a Dodge Challenger, right? It's a legitimate car. Like
Yeah.
it's a car. It's a car. So like it's a sports car. I don't know. I guess we'll see. If I got a chance to drive a Chinese EV, I would, but I probably would. I don't know. Change my mind about it, but I just don't trust that segment of
Yeah,
the
I
auto
mean, I think
industry.
ultimately that's your take on it is you're waiting
Yeah.
for one to prove you wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I see enough about it in the opposite direction, but we can. There's
I
more
mean,
EV
hey, you work in
stories.
the tire industry, maybe you'll get a chance to go to the Chinese auto show and drive some EVs.
I'm going to the auto show in February, and I know that last year they had like an EV like inside test track. Wondering if maybe this year I'll actually spend some time with it. Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I didn't get to do it last year. Maybe I'll do it this year. But I don't know if there would even be any Chinese EVs at that point.
No, we won't have any
Yeah,
here because
even for display, I guess.
they're tariffed to they're tariffed to high hell, and there's just it doesn't make any sense because nobody can buy one. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's coming, and I feel like it's going to be kind of like the moment when sort of Hyundai entered the market, where they're going to come in a lot cheaper than everybody else, and maybe quality wise they are not entirely as good, but I think people will deal with it because of the price, and they will get better over time.
Yeah, I just don't. I think even if they are, let's just pretend that they're great vehicles and I'm completely wrong. I think that doesn't change
Yeah.
that they are going to be state funded and state subsidized so that they can come in at cheaper prices. And then, they'll destroy the market and then rug pull, and then the cars are going to be very expensive. And then they have basically a monopoly on EVs. And I don't agree with that.
I wouldn't put it past them to do that,
The
but
100%
I
they're
mean,
going to do that.
we'll see.
They're doing it right now. Like they're doing it in Europe. That's why the cars are so cheap. Like it's not just out of goodwill. Like it's that's what they do. Like that's what they do. All right, well, we could do more EV. There's more EV conversations to have. I mean, Tesla, being the cringe piece of shit that they are, has made FSD a subscription only system. You'll have to pay for it. So they're not doing a one-time fee anymore.
That is also where we're going. You will own nothing and you will like it.
You'll eat the bug, you will own nothing, and you will be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate this shit. I don't understand. It's like BMW. It's like, that's the thing. Who was it? Was it Louis Rossmann or something who said, like, when BMW was charging for certain airbags, or is it Tesla charging for certain airbags? If you get into a crash, 100% of people would be happy to pay a charge for the airbags.
You didn't pay your airbag subscription, you die.
Yeah, you die. I like the idea. To be honest, actually, I respect it, because if you were dumb enough to buy a Tesla, but I love the idea of Tesla just willing to kill their drivers. We got your money, now die. But
don't forget to pay your monthly airbag fee.
Yeah, I think BMW does it for like heated seats and shit, like inconsequential shit. I don't agree with it, but
tried it. Audi tried it. They get pushback every time, but it's one of those things where like they're going to continue to try it. Manufacturers will continue to try it, and it needs to be pushed back on every time, because as soon as one is allowed to do it and it sticks, that's it.
Yeah.
Toast.
Yeah, I mean, Tesla is the only one who I think will continue to do it, because they just don't care. They actually do a lot of things that are probably illegal, but they get away with, like the whole thing with
Extremely anti-consumer.
Yeah, I mean, they make the car like considered to be like totaled or whatever, and then you can't fast charge anymore if you don't do repairs they deem to be necessary, even if those repairs aren't necessary. And then they direct you to teslalegal.com or something like that if you have a problem
well,
with
it's
it.
also like how many people put deposits down for the new Tesla Roadster that was supposed to come out like 2 years ago and are still waiting for Roadsters.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Like I feel like something about that is or should be illegal.
Yeah, I mean it should be.
They basically crowdfunded off of public funds.
Yeah, no,
and now
they
they keep pushing.
I mean, is it any different than like, I don't know, all the Kickstarter crap or, you know, whatever? Like it's not that different. We don't look very favorably on those people either, right?
Yeah, no, like that's fair. I feel like it's different when it's like $50 or $100 versus like, oh, this is $100,000. But I guess the people buying them don't really care.
But did they put up? Was it $100,000?
How much was the deposit amount? It's $50,000 deposit.
Woo! It's a $5,000 credit card payment plus a $45,000 wire transfer payment due in 10 days. That's nuts. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah. And the best part is you can still reserve one.
Yeah, I'm ordering one right now. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. You know what's funny about the Tesla Roadster? Not for anything, but like the side profile, if you just look at like the door, like roof, it looks a lot like the Model 3. It's not, I don't understand it.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It looks like a Model 3 with, like, you know how the i8 is birthing a 911? This looks like
you know
a
what
Model
it
3
looks
is
like
exploding
from
upward.
the side? It looks like a slightly Temu Amira.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Everything Tesla does looks slightly Temu. I don't like this crap. Yeah. In other EV news, can't sell a Dodge Charger to save your life. So you found this. You wanna talk about this?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, I guess everybody knows that the new generation Dodge Charger it's an EV platform. It was going to be an EV, and then that did so horribly that they were like, all right, we need to make this an internal combustion engine so you can get it with like the Hurricane inline 6 as well. But the EVs are looked down upon and so undesirable that we've found one for sale at a dealership, and we live in Canada, so this is a dealership that's in BC that is $108,000 MSRP with a $45,000 discount from the dealer.
Dude.
And this is
And
a brand new, like not a demo, not a trade-in, brand new, like off the truck Daytona Scat Pack.
that's what I want to see, man. This is what look. Most dealers are even rejecting EVs. This one was like, fuck it, discount it. Also, I did build that car on the Dodge website. I thought for a second that the dealer was doing a little nefarious shit with their MSRP. Because I was able to build that exact car and it ended up being about $90,000.
Uh-huh.
But that's still at minimum like a $30,000 discount. So yeah, nobody wants this
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like that is how undesirable they are. And like I'll give it credit where it's due. Like it honestly feels like the Dodge engineers tried, but when you're an engineer at Dodge or Stellantis, I guess like you can only really do so much.
Yep.
If I'm honest, I love the way it looks. I think it looks good, but
Yeah.
from
No. Like
everything I've seen and heard, everything else is just kind of shit.
I think it
Um,
looks good, but I think
and it
it's got weird
weighs a
proportions.
metric fuck ton.
Oh yeah, it's fat as shit. Like it's yeah. I don't know. I mean, like
And I agree with the proportions thing too. It's like it's a little bit too long, just a little bit.
well, I was talking
There's like
to
a
yeah. Go
little
ahead.
bit too much overhang after the rear wheels, and a little bit too much space between the door
Mm-hmm.
and the rear.
So I was talking to the Dodge rep at a show once about this, and they had one. And I was like, why does it I literally like verbatim was like, why does it look like this? Because it looks like it's proportionally wrong. And he was like, look. Like kind of looks he's like, listen, I agree with you. He's like, this is why. And he pulled up the hood. The mounting points for the suspension are like weirdly deep. Like there's
Like deep towards the
like
dash.
towards the center of the car.
Interesting.
And I'm like, that's very strange. And he's like, basically, they built it this way so that it could accommodate the weight from the EVs, and this is the best way they could do it. And I was like,
Yeah.
from the EV
They
battery.
built they built an EV platform first, and then they were
Yeah.
like, all right, now how do we fit a normal internal combustion engine into it? I mean, I'll be honest, I think as the four door, it looks a bit better.
I haven't seen the four
Because
door.
it kind of hides the weird proportions. I'll post it in our chat.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see the four door. Oh, I see it now. You know what? Yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah, like as a four door, I think it's okay because it hides that sort of space before the
Mm-hmm.
rear wheel. I
Yeah.
appreciate that it's a hatchback, so it's got a lot of trunk space. I'll give it
Yeah.
that. Um, and apparently, if you get it with the Hurricane inline six, like it's fast and quick enough. And being a turbo inline six means you can do the good old tube in a tune and
Yeah. Tube and a
make
tune.
100 extra horsepower.
Love tube and a tune.
And that's proven. Like it'll literally pick up like 100 horsepower off a tube in a tune. So,
Sick. So what does
um,
it work out to? Like 500?
it's like high fives or low sixes at the wheels
That's
after a tube in a tune.
that's actually pretty sweet, I will say.
Yeah, it's just it's like you can tell they tried, but
Yeah.
this isn't what charger buyers want.
No,
They
and I
just want loud V8 and that's it.
not even it doesn't even have to like they just want like charger buyers want internal combustion. There are people who are gonna buy like whatever small car and they're happy with whatever. That's fine. Go for like Nissan
Yeah.
Leaf buyers are not Hemi buyers. You know what I mean? But like
No,
be
of course.
realistic. Like that's the problem here is like they were forced to do something they clearly had no desire to do. Like they didn't want to fucking do this. And then they did it, and then it was badly received because in the time it was developed, the world changed. But their buyers were never going to buy it to begin with. That's the issue, right? It was never in the cards. I mean, look, even at
Yeah.
the
Well, like even the Hurricane inline six models are struggling to sell because it's like towards the end of the original Challenger and Charger's life, a lot of the ones selling were like the 5.7s or the 392s and
oh yeah,
Scat Pack.
Scabback.
So like it's got to be a scat, but the V8 is a part of it because like from a numbers perspective, the inline six is wonderful,
Yeah,
great engine, and from what I've heard, decently reliable as well.
that's good.
Um, but it doesn't sound good. It
Most
has a
turbo motors
very
don't.
distinctive like truck like drone to it.
Mm.
If you like,
Uh,
even if you look up a video of one on like a dyno or something, it's just kind of like ugh.
ugh.
That's literally what it is. Like
It
it
sounds
doesn't
like it
have,
has developmental problems.
yeah. And then
I.
the EV, they put that fucking speaker
Oh
on the
my
back that
god. Oh
V8 noises,
yeah.
which like bless their hearts because their hearts were in the right place, but that's just horrible.
No, but like that's like grandma trying to buy you an electronic and she buys you some shit from Temu and she's like, I hope you like it. And you're like, I appreciate what you're trying to do,
Yeah, it's like
but
thanks, grandma.
thanks, grandma. It's just I don't know, it's just silly. Like it just oh hey, I have a picture with the hood open. Yeah, this is about where the struts were when I saw them. Like it's you can see how deep into the car they actually kind of are, and they're like they stand on their own. They're not attached to like the sidewall of the like engine bay at all. Like you see
See if I can.
that red in there?
Yeah,
Like
I just looked up a picture of the Daytona engine bay. You know, interestingly enough, let me see,
mhm,
2025. So like I see what you mean, like they're really far inset, but if you look at the previous generation, like if I
I'm
just look
looking
up
at it
like
now. Wow, that is even
they're
deeper.
also really far inset.
Is this isn't the same platform? Is it?
I don't think so. I thought it was like it can't be. It was designed as an EV platform, like it's all new. The previous generation platform was based off of
E-Class.
like the Mercedes E-Class or
Yeah.
whatever from the 2000s.
Yeah, the Chrysler Daimler days or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh so this is a
So
fully
it's
original.
yeah, this is an all new platform for this generation.
I'll be honest, I've never seen the like Daytona engine bay before. Um those are some deep ass struts, bro. No
Yeah, like they're
wonder it handles
mounted
like that.
really, really inboard.
Jesus. Okay. I mean that I you know what? Fucked up to say, but kind of makes complete fucking sense with how bad the fucking cars
Yeah,
handle. Hmm.
yeah.
Okay. We learned something new. Pretty cool.
I mean, it's
Um
also the weight. Like how much? I wonder. I need to look up how much they weigh because it's a figure.
well, is it the EV or the 6-pack?
I'm gonna try and find them both.
6,000 pounds, baby.
Yep,
That's crazy.
50 5,700 to 5,800 pounds.
That is heavier than the M5, isn't it?
That is, let's find out.
M5 Touring, right? Weight 2580 kilo. Okay, pounds, please. 5,530 pounds. That is heavier than the M5 Touring. Holy shit.
I feel like it's heavier than a Tacoma,
How do you make a car that heavy?
right?
How? Like the 6-pack doesn't even have any like the M5 is a hybrid.
Yeah,
So the 6-pack is still that weight and it has no electrical electrification in it. Oh, sorry. The 6-pack
yeah.
is 436 kilos lighter than the electric one, but still tips the scales at 2184. Oh, okay. 2184 kilos to pounds. 4,800. So sorry. The 6-pack is 4,814 pounds. The EV is 5,700 or whatever it was. So that's still
Yeah,
a
okay.
heavy
So
fucking car.
it's not heavier than the current Tacoma, but it is heavier than the previous generation.
Still, that is still impressive.
Oh no. Yeah, no, curb weight 4,500. So yeah, no, it actually might be heavier than the current Tacoma. So yeah, for a car, that is impressive.
That's
That's
that.
one way to put it.
How do you like? Okay, we don't talk about this a lot, but like on the actual design end of cars, how do you actually make a car that fucking heavy? Like what goes wrong in the process to end up here, right? Like because if we compare it to like what is a fair comparison, which would be like an M340i, I think is a fair, you know, six cylinders, similar displacement, right?
Yep.
Like what, like for a 2022 or 23 vehicle, like what is the weight on this? I would love to know.
Like
3,988 pounds.
yeah, and that's considered heavy. Like the
Yeah, that's
M3 is
heavy.
a heavy car.
Yeah,
It's not a light car.
yeah. This is the
Um
M340i, but yes.
like like part of it obviously is batteries, because when you have that many fucking batteries, it's just heavy. The other side of it is like they now have to build a chassis and reinforce a chassis that's going to be able to not only hold all those heavy ass batteries without flexing, but also be able to put all of that torque to the ground without flexing or twisting.
Mm,
And when you're doing that with things like aluminum and steel, because you're
yeah.
trying to meet a price point, that adds weight.
So is it basically then because this was originally intended, we're not doing it, this is an EV platform, you know, and like you said, they're reinforcing everything, and then
Yeah, like part of it is the batteries, the other part of it is this was built as an EV platform
yeah,
and structurally is designed and reinforced as an EV, and then they just happen to be like, oh well, let's put an internal combustion engine and driveline into it.
yeah,
It
because
probably
that's
would have been a bit lighter if it were designed, and like, no, I'm not going to say a ton lighter. Like I don't think we're talking, going down to like 3,800 pounds here, because let's be honest, like the 2020 Charger
mm-hmm,
weighed, it was still over four, it was 3,900 to 4,300 pounds,
yeah. It was not a
or
light
like
boy.
4,400 pounds.
I think it was less than
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
but I feel like if they designed this generation as in internal, they probably would have had it somewhere in like the 48 to maybe 5,100 pound range.
well, they have it. So hold on. So the EV is the 5,700 pounds. The
No,
six
the
pack.
EVs are like 58 to 5,900.
Okay, but the six pack is like 4,800 or something like that. So that's what I'm saying. The six pack is
Oh,
4,800
sure.
pounds.
Uh,
4816 for the six pack gas. High or SO. What is SO? Because HO would be high output, I assume.
uh, I
Standard
have
output,
no
maybe.
idea what
Yeah.
it could be standard output. Um. Oh, okay. Maybe I'm just entirely wrong then. That could be
But that's what I'm saying. It's still like
40.
1,000 pounds heavier.
Yeah, I mean, did they have the Hellcat in 2020 or 2020 Dodge Charger
Yeah,
Scat?
2020 Dodge Charger. I can
That's
see it over
probably like
here.
the most equivalent would be the Scat Pack, and the Scat Pack was about 4,400 pounds.
Yeah. That the
So
Hellcat,
it's about it's about what the Hellcat I think was a little bit heavier
it's like
because
200 pounds
of the
heavier.
supercharger bits.
Yeah.
But it's about what I'd expect then in weight increase for internal combustion.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's how much batteries weigh,
Yeah.
essentially.
Jesus. And the reinforcement for those batteries.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the chassis is built around EV, so there is going to be some added weight there. How much? Apparently, it's a somewhat negligible amount.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
it's
so
it's some amount.
yeah, and I mean, I don't know how much the weight difference between the inline six and the V8 is, because yes, the inline six technically should be heavier, being it's 2 cylinders longer,
Right.
and it's got turbos on it. But the old V8s were also iron blocks; they weren't aluminum, so they were
Were they?
heavy
Okay.
boys.
Mm.
Yeah,
I see a world where if that V8 is not quite high output, like people would maybe still want the six pack, but because apparently the V8's coming, so we'll see how that goes. But I could see a world where the V8s are
I
less
think
powerful.
you know what I think.
Hmm.
I think the six pack is the G37 of the future.
I believe. I agree with you. I agree with you. Because you know what? They want choo-choos. Young boys want choo-choos.
They do. It's 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 gonna be. They're probably gonna depreciate like a rock.
Yeah.
Cheap bolt-on power,
Mm-hmm.
and you can slide them around. It's the G37 of the future.
If they depreciate like a stone, I could be convinced that they might be a good thing to pick up used, like with that amount of
When
power. Because
you were at a takeover in 2036 before you get life in prison, these are the cars that are going to be there.
yeah, that's
It's going
true.
to be six packs.
I mean, fuck. It's true. I before before I get life. I mean, yeah. Before you kill a family of 4, you will be driving a Dodge Challenger or Dodge Charger 6-pack. I will. How do you feel? Okay, joking aside, how do you feel about them basically like ending the Challenger lineage? Like it's just Chargers now, right? Because you got the 2-door Charger, and then there's going to be a 4-door Charger.
I'll be honest, I don't really feel that much about it. Like they ended the Challenger lineage before in like the late 70s or early 80s, and it disappeared for like 30 years before everybody started doing the whole sort of retro throwback stuff that started with the Camaro.
Mm-hmm.
Or it might have been the Mustang. I forget who did it first.
I think
But
technically it
they
was
started
the.
doing that, and then Dodge was like, "All right, we're going to bring back the Charger and the Challenger."
I think the Challenger. I remember seeing it at an auto show in like 2006. The concept. So
Yeah, like it was around that because like Chevy had the Camaro and Transformers, and then Dodge was going to bring back the Challenger. You know what I remember the Challenger from? I remember it from Need for Speed Carbon. Those are like the first memories I have of the Challenger reboot.
wow, that's a long time. Fuck.
Yeah,
That model has basically been on the road since then. I mean, there's a mild refresh, like when they went from 2015 onward, but fuck, it's the same goddamn car.
yeah. Like I think, like the Charger got 2 facelifts. The Challenger, I think, got 1.
Yeah. Um yeah, I got one. I got one in 2015 and the Charger.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know.
because the
I don't
Charger
mind
got a
them.
facelift
Yeah.
around the early to mid teens, and then it got that other facelift around the time the Hellcat came out, which is the Charger that we probably know best
Yes.
today.
I don't mind how they look. Visually speaking, I think they look fine. They look good.
I think
They
they
just
look.
drive like shit.
I think they look great.
Yeah. I could see the case for like an SRT, like not a Hellcat, but like a Scat Pack, like wide body as like a 1-car daily solution. Like for me, someone like me who's like, oh, only a Golf R. I could see that. But I also then I'm like, oh, but they drive like garbage. Like they drive terribly.
Yeah, they're very one trick pony, and the pony gets old kind of fast.
Yeah. It feels like driving a
Like,
minivan.
yeah, and because of the weight, they don't really pull as hard as you think they're going to.
Mm-hmm. I've driven
So
a
that's why
Daytona.
the V8 used to be such a big draw, because at least it would pull decently hard or pretty hard if you had like a Hellcat or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's like you at least got the V8 noise.
Yeah.
With this, the inline 6, it's the Hurricane is one of those inline 6s where it's like I respect the numbers and everything. I respect it all around. There is nothing you can do to this engine to make it sound good.
No. It's like an E80 E888 E888. They just kind of sound like farting.
Yeah, like it's not a good sounding motor. And like BMW had this problem for the longest time. Like I love the E46 M3. I think it's the S55 is in the E46. I think
Yeah.
it's a horrible sounding engine from an exhaust perspective. Intake perspective, wonderful. The F80 series M3s, like the previous generation,
Yeah.
sound like garbage. There's
Yeah.
nothing you can do to make them sound good.
Yeah,
Totally
they sound like
respect how
BMW
fast
farts.
they sound
Yeah,
horrible.
totally. Yeah. It's kind of like it's kind of like the Honda problem, right? Like even a fast Honda sounds like it's farting. Like it's always been that
Yeah,
way.
like a fast Honda still sounds like a Honda.
Yeah. I don't understand how people like that person. I like Hondas. I think they're cool, but like fuck, they sound terrible. You know?
Yeah, you know what's interesting about them? When you have a Honda engine in a Honda, it doesn't sound that great. When you take the Honda engine out of a Honda and you put it into like a Lotus or like an MR2 Spider or something, it's got to be the exhaust length being so short, but they don't sound bad anymore.
Don't they also change the head on those on the Lotus ones? Isn't there like a head from Yamaha done or something like that for the Honda engines? Or is that a different
No,
thing?
Lotus doesn't get any Honda engines from the factory at all. I'm just saying, like, if
Oh,
you
okay.
take the Toyota engine out and put like a K series in,
I see. Okay, I understand.
it's like it's got to be the exhaust length because it's just really short on a mid-engine car. It's not running from front to back.
It must
They
be.
just they sound like better and more exotic. It's not the best sounding thing ever, but it's like for a four cylinder, it's like, huh, that's
Yeah,
that's
it's not
pretty
bad.
decent.
Yeah. I don't know what it must be. It must be. It's a reasonable, reasonable theory on that one. I think shorter exhaust runs make a lot of things sound a little more throaty, maybe.
Yeah. Or like the original Ariel Atom had the K series in it, and if you ever watch
Mm.
videos of it, it's like, huh, that sounds decent.
Yeah, that's true. I find myself like I can't like separate Honda from like and you were there, the like early 2000s like
Yeah, you're
rice
thinking of
era.
like the classic D series and B series
Yeah, with a
fart can.
cherry bomb muffler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
know
It's hard to
exactly what
separate
you're
it.
thinking.
Yeah, I'm sure that
Nope,
you helped install many.
I have put many a shitty exhaust connected to a B and a D series engine.
He's actually quite a learned gentleman.
Yeah,
He's gonna open up a shop when that
I'm
comes back
quite
around.
the D series China exhaust connoisseur, you might say.
You could buy those at
Seen
Canadian
many a
Tire.
booger weld in my time.
Applied many a booger weld in my time. Oh man. All right. So I mean that closes the Dodge Charger. I mean I'm interested to see what comes. I mean like I do think they look good, so who knows? Maybe they depreciate into the ground and then we can get one. For pennies, for peanuts even. We talked about the factories, we talked about Tesla and their insanity, and then yeah, Lucid and their issues.
Shitty
The
software.
Yeah, this has been a very EV heavy episode, but I'm glad we talked about it. I think there's a lot of good conversations to have around this because it's not all doom and
Yeah.
gloom. Things are coming back. Is the Do you know one last thing I wanted to close on? So like the Dodge Charger, right?
Yeah.
Like a couple of years ago when they still had the previous generation available, pricing was like mid 30s for like a base model, right? And then like mid 50s for like a Daytona, something like that. I'm just
So
wondering.
this is it's tough because like once you started getting into like COVID era, prices really started getting skewed.
Mm,
So like base model, I think for the longest time was like mid-ish 30s. At one point it was low to mid, and then I think it was like mid to high.
yeah,
And then as you moved up, like we'll just go straight to the ones we're interested in. It's like the only thing we care about is the Scat Pack and Hellpack or Hellcat.
yeah,
The Scat Pack at one point I think was low to mid 60s, and then eventually it became like I think high 60s to low 70s. And the Hellcat I think was mid 70s, and eventually it made its way into like the 90s and low 100s
right, okay.
for like a Hellcat wide body. And I have no idea how much the Demon costed. I'm pretty sure the Demon,
Some
because it was
obscene
limited
number.
run and everything, was always like 120 plus.
Yeah. I will say I was just looking at the Dodge website. First and foremost, I'm actually amazed how many trims they have for the 6-pack available Charger. I guess the Daytona is the only. It's like for branding wise, Daytona is the only one that's an EV. I think.
Yeah,
Right. that shit is go away. We don't need to see that. They actually have an RT, if you'll believe it, like a base, but the RT still comes with the 3-liter twin turbo. What? So that's the base.
It's going to be detuned in some manner. Let's see if we can find out, and then maybe we can end on this.
So I found it. So the standard output. Would you like to guess? So SO is standard output. How much power that makes? Because they've basically what they've done. This will help you, right? No, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what the standard output is, and then I will also which is 420 horsepower. Good number, nice. The high output, they've basically given you a tube and a turbo themselves. Or like tube and a tune, excuse me, not tube and a turbo. How much power do you think it makes? And it's $5,000 more.
Okay, I'm pretty sure the high output I think is like 550.
Literally on the fucking dot. Yeah. So you already knew, but that's
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just because like I remember from watching dynos of people who were getting like tube and a tune on them, they're making that and more at like they're making like high 5s to low 6s at the wheel. So it makes sense that it's 550-ish rated.
Yeah, 100%.
Standard output, if it's making 550 in the high output, I'm gonna say 390 to 410.
No, I mentioned it before. Maybe you didn't hear it. It was 420. So over 400
okay.
for standard
close.
output.
Close.
Yeah, no, not bad. I will say, what I wanted to point out is that you could get a charger for like 30 something with the base, like base V6, no turbos back in the day. The cheapest charger is now $62,000 base price. Fuck off.
Cheapest charger with a gas engine, by the way.
Yes,
the EVs are a bit cheaper, but yes, cheapest engine starts at 62.
Yeah. Eat shit.
I do want to say, I love what Dodge calls their paint colors.
What they call their paint colors.
Because could you imagine going into the Dodge dealership and saying, "I want a ludicrous Charger"?
Is that what it's called? Oh my god, it's called
Ludicrous.
Blue is called. Yeah, I see that. What's the red called? Red Eye. That makes sense. Orange. Peel Out. Fuck off. What the hell are these names? Destroyer Gray.
Their dark blue is After Dark.
Triple Nickel.
Green Machine.
Green Machine. Wait, it's not green.
Come on, you can't tell me that these. You can't tell me that these aren't going to be the takeover cars of the future.
Yeah, these are absolutely the takeover cars of the future. This will be in people's like Instagram bios, like Green Machine 2026 Dodge Charger RT HO high output, baby. Like, all right. God, this is gonna go so badly. I just think it's a lot of money for a Dodge Charger. That's crazy though. That is crazy.
It's a lot of money. And Stellantis sort of has that same sort of issue that Lucid has, where their software is just kind of shit.
Yeah, I just couldn't imagine spending for like the 4-door high output $75,000 for like the rental car interior. Fuck.
Yeah.
With the like nice upgraded interior, $83,680.
That's insane.
That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money.
Yeah, because a 2-door and 4-door RT, and then the 2-door and 4-door Scat Pack, which have the high output motors. So, yeah, these base model RTs coming to takeovers near you very soon.
Very quickly. All right, well,
keep your eyes peeled for base model RTs with straight pipes.
Yeah, that's the top tip. Keep your eyes peeled for for children in RTs. If you, I guess we can end on that. If you like what you hear, and you want to hear more, you can always subscribe. You can follow us on Instagram, CurbrashYT. Yeah, we had fun this week. We hope you did too. And keep an eye out for next week. At some point, we'll be talking about our plans for spring. I think we'll have a fun conversation about where we want to go with our ownership experiences, plural. So,
yes.
Yeah. All right. Till next time.